Hi and welcome to episode 2 of my Marmite video thoughts. This episode is going to be about tool packs. Now I know tool packs attract an awful lot of attention, and with some people they can become quite nerdy with them. In a way, I get a bit obsessive about my tool pack. So I know that doing a video like this is likely to attract a lot of opinion, but hey ho, that comes with the territory of doing a video like this. However, some thoughts around tool packs are going to be the kind of bike that you're riding on, the terrain you're most likely to be riding on, whether you're on your own, whether you're with others. So those sorts of issues will dictate the type of tool pack you're going to use. So are you the sort of person that goes with a minimum of tools like this? Or are you someone who goes with a large toolkit, roughly like the kitchen sink, like this? As ever, there's a compromise to be met, and I tend to think of toolkits in terms of what I intend to do with my bike. So if I'm going away for an extended journey, 6-8 weeks, I'm going to take more tools with me than I would on a short trip for a week or 3 or 4 days hop up to Scotland or a short jaunt across to Europe. But I generally have a basic kit that I take with me anywhere which is going to be more than 3 or 4 days, just for simple servicing and managing possible complications or problems that the bike might throw up. So what I'll do is I'll run through some of the basic toolkit I'm going to take, and then I'll show the add-ons that I would throw in if I was going away for an extended period of time, or if I was likely to be doing a higher level of off-road or off-piste riding, because sometimes that does apply extra pressures to your bike. So I'll show you the toolkit, and then I'll add the bits and pieces that I would tend to add on depending on the terrain and whether I'm going on my own. So here we go. So as I said, here's my basic toolkit. I'm a bit obsessive about my Motion Pro, so I have a series of spanners here which are titanium ultra lightweight. I have a Knipex adjustable spanner here which will adjust to quite a large size. That's very handy. I have a Motion Pro multi-tool, and then there's all the additional parts that go with that Motion Pro. And so with that that little tool pack there, I can pretty well do all the servicing I need on my AJP PR7. All these spanners are specific to my bike, so I know that if I get into any trouble I can do most things with this kit. Now I'm not carrying spares here. We're not talking about spare parts, we're just really talking about an essential toolkit. There may be a couple of things which are considered spares, but spares are a separate issue. I'm going to throw in a multi-tool. This is a Leatherman, but there are plenty of others similar to that. I'm also going to throw in a sprocket bolt just in case. I'm going to have a little adjuster for taking out valves. I'm going to include spare valves as part of my toolkit. I'm also going to include part of my toolkit as a spare chain link. Not a spare, it's going to be part of my toolkit. Also in the toolkit I'm going to throw in some wire. You never know, sometimes you can be going through some rough, gnarly little off-road trails, and indicator or a bit of wiring can get caught and ripped out. Always useful to have a spare bit of wire. I'm going to have a spare boot strap. I'm going to have one of these. It's a rubberized plasticky bit of material, but really useful if you're trying to undo a stiff nut or any part that's stiff and you can't get a good grip on it. Also in my tool pack, I'm going to throw in some thread lock. That's always useful. An essential component of any toolkit, is not a spare part, will be toilet roll. Also, I'm going to throw in an adapter. How many times have you gone to a fuel station to try and pump up your tyres and realise that there just is not a way of connecting that air line? A little adapter like that makes life a whole lot easier. I'm also going to throw in some 3-in-1 multi-purpose oil, always again a useful addition to any toolbox. Now if I'm going away for a trip which I know is going to involve quite a bit of off-road riding and quite a bit of trail riding, I'm going to take a pack of bolts, nuts and bolts, a variety of sizes, which I know will be useful for my bike, just in case bits drop off. They do fall off, bits get lost sometimes, you never know where they've gone. Another essential part of your tool pack will be gaffer tape, along with some rubber gloves, and also maybe some wipes for cleaning your hands. So that's largely it. Now the other thing that you would want to think about taking is a pump. Now that's really useful, just a small hand bicycle pump, in fact is what I use. So when I'm putting my tyres down, pumping them back up again, that will handle 15 psi within a couple of minutes of pumping, and that deals with the different pressures that I might need when I'm off-road and back onto tarmac. The other thing that I've only come across it once, but it was really annoying, and I searched out for this little device, and I've carried it with me on a few occasions. I've only ever had to use it one time, but it's one of those things that takes up little space. It's this little wire cutter. So I got caught out in Portugal once in some really, I don't know what it was, sort of bushes and lots of brambles, and they got tangled around the pedals and what have you, and this was a great way of just cutting through that and shredding and get rid of it. Also in the evening you can cut your cheese with it if you like. Another handy thing to take in your tool pack will be a small adjustable brolly. So when it's raining and you find you're having to do some work on your bike, some essential repair work, and it's pouring rain, you put that umbrella up, it'll just keep the worst of the weather off you and allow you to think a bit more clearly. The other time that's useful is when you're out in desert terrain or very hot terrain with burning sun and there's absolutely nowhere to hide from the sun. You put that umbrella up, again you've got instant shade to protect you. Absolute asset. And that's pretty well everything I would take with me. Yeah, okay. Okay, I admit it, you spotted it straight off. He's not carrying a spare tube and he's not carrying any tyre levers. Why is that then? Well, there's a good reason. Most of the time I don't tend to carry tyre levers, certainly not for a small trip. If I'm going anywhere abroad, then I will carry one spare one, which happens to undo the rear axle bolt so I can adjust my chain. So I need that with me all the time for chain adjustment. But generally speaking, I rely on a product called Bike Seal. Now I've been using this product for years now, and the past 2 trips to South America, the past 4 trips to the Himalayas in India, the past 2 trips to Morocco, I've used Bike Seal and I've not had a puncture. In fact, I can't remember when I last had a puncture. It's years. Now I know some of that's luck, it's bound to be, but also, I mean, I think this product, Bike Seal, is an exceptionally good product, and it definitely, as far as I'm concerned, seems to work. But that's not to say you shouldn't be carrying tyre levers or a spare tube. If I'm on a solo trip abroad for an extended journey, and if I know I'm going to be doing a fair bit of off-road terrain, or I'm going to be in an isolated area for long periods of time, then I would be stupid. It'd be disingenuous for me to say I don't take a tube or tyre levers, because on those occasions I am going to take them. So I'm going to take 3 of these Motion Pros. They're super lightweight, aircraft aluminium, virtually unbreakable and super strong. And I will take 1 spare tube. It'll be the 21-inch tube for the front wheel, which I can shove into the back if it's a push. The Bike Seal is wonderful stuff, and it will stop the majority of punctures. What it won't do is deal with a ripped out valve. You're stuffed if that happens, so you will need to put a spare tube in. So I will, in these occasions I'm going to carry one. For those of you that have tubeless tyres, then life can be a little bit easier. You've got your own products for repairing punctures and replacing tube inserts. You've got your own products for fixing punctures and repairing valve stems. So your tool pack will carry that assistance. So there we have it. That's the end of this video on toolpacks. The next one will be on medical kits. What's the essentials that you should take when you're going on a trip to cover for the minor injuries or something bigger and more traumatic. I'll be covering that in the next video. Look forward to meeting you. Don't forget to hit the like button or subscribe, and I'll catch up with you then. Bye for now.